Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Life Unexpected, back with another video. The last video that I did for you guys was on my hysteroscopy experience, and this video is going to be an update because I now had my hysteroscopic myomectomy earlier this week. So, and by the way, I found it very interesting. You know how on Facebook it notifies you with memories from however long ago? If you're on Facebook, it does that. And so I was notified that 4 years ago today was the myomectomy procedure that I had. So I just found that very fascinating that literally 4 years ago I was having surgery today. And here I am again. But anyway, just wanted to let you guys know about my experience and how it went, and how I'm doing now, now that I've been in recovery. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning and dive right in. So my hysteroscopic myomectomy was scheduled for this past Tuesday at 10:40 in the morning. I was told the night before to not have any food or liquids after midnight. 9 p.m. is when I had to stop food. I couldn't have liquids after midnight. I could only have clear liquids up till then. So anyway, the next morning, my parents took me up there to the hospital, and we got there probably about 8:30. When it hit about 8:40, they called me in the back. They sent me to the back to go get changed. So they, took me to a room, and I was given a hospital gown, and then I had to get into the bed. And my parents were allowed at that point to come and join me in the back. So they started to put in my IV. They didn't run the fluids, but they just kind of got everything set up, in preparation for the procedure. So, we're just kind of back there hanging out, waiting. I must say that I was very pleased with the staff there. Everyone was very personable and very nice and pleasant. I had a very good experience, so I really appreciated that. So, so they were really nice, and, she just kind of asked me a series of questions and told me how everything was going to be going forward, what was going to be happening, So, she kind of informed me that, the anesthesiologist will be in, and I'll meet the team eventually, the nurses who would be there. The doctor would eventually come in to meet with me when, it gets closer to the time of the procedure taking place. And so, and I had to sign paperwork and things like that. So we were just kind of hanging out, and then eventually my mom got up to answer a phone call. When she was coming back in, she noticed on my chart that it said that my procedure was pushed back to it said 11:30. Like the time was crossed out, and then it said 11:30 on it. So she was like, wait, what's going on? So she's kind of like standing in the hall, like trying to get someone's attention, trying to figure out like, well, what's going on. So, they're scrambling around trying to say, well, let me look into that, blah, blah, blah. And then meanwhile, I'm like, mom, come back, just come on back in. She was like, no, but I just want to know, like, mom, just come on back. And I said, look, I'm about to go and, have surgery here, and I do not want these people annoyed with me. So I'm sure they will come let us know what's going on very soon, but let's not get these people mad because we're, getting upset. So let's just chill. So she's like, okay, but I was just trying to find out what's going on, and I'm like, I get it, but let's just relax, okay? I don't want these people mad. So they, after a little while, came in and informed us that the doctor was still in surgery, and so that the surgery time was now being pushed back to 11:30. Well, that got pushed back till about 12:30 after that. So some time went by, and they began to realize that he was still in surgery. But anyhow, so eventually the anesthesiologist came in and met with me. As it got closer to 12:30, the doctor came in, and so he finished surgery. And it was kind of funny because my concern was like hoping that he's not too tired now, because he's been in this surgery longer than he anticipated. dealing with, you know, what he was dealing with. And so I'm like, you know, you okay, doctor? Like, if you need lunch, if you need a break, we're okay. Like, it's okay. Like, if you need a little extra time. But he said no. He assured me that he's fine. He does this all the time. It's no big deal. So, but he just kind of went over everything again. The nurses eventually came in. They started to, you know, run the fluids and everything, and then they gave me kind of like a sedative. And then that's when they started getting prepared to take me to the other room. And then they started giving me the anesthesia, and then I don't know, that was it. That's all I remember. After that, I remember waking up in recovery. It was a very strange feeling the moment I woke up, because I kind of felt a little confused, like, you know, did surgery happen already? Why haven't I started yet? Like, what's going on? Then the pain came in, like set in, and I was like, oh, I had surgery. Ow, help, help, no, somebody come help me. I'm hurting, pain, hurting. So, you know, a nurse comes over and they give me, I think, morphine. So they gave me some morphine, and then I was out again. And then some time goes by. So my surgery, like I said, it was about an hour. So it ended about 1:30, and I didn't really wake up until about 4:30 from recovery. So yeah, I was out. And then eventually I woke up, and they saw my eyes were like open consistently. So they said, okay, we're gonna, you know, move you to the next phase. This is phase 1 of the process, and we're gonna, you know, move you to phase 2 of the process. And so that's where we'll give you a meal, and, you know, we're gonna go over the next steps and things. And I was like, oh, I get a meal? And they were like, yeah, you get a meal. And I was like, oh, great, I'm really hungry. I'm really hungry. So, you know, they're getting ready to wheel me out of there. And the nurse was so sweet. The one that was attending me, she was so nice, really, really sweet lady. You know, I felt like she was just very patient with me. So they were moving me to phase 2. So they start wheeling me back to this other room. They allow my parents to come join me back there. And then they offer me my meal. And that's where I see some crackers on the table. And I was like, okay. And they were like, would you like some crackers? I was like, well, if the meal's coming, I can like wait for the meal. They were like, no, this is the meal. And I was like, the crackers? Mind you, I had not eaten since like 8 o'clock the night before. So I was very disappointed by that. Maybe they need to change their wording, because that's not a meal. But so they offered me like crackers, and I tore those crackers up. I was tearing those crackers up. And they offered me some ginger ale. And meanwhile, they were like, you know, coming in and talking to my parents about the next steps. Now, one thing I didn't mention is the doctor did also, like right after surgery, he also did talk to my family about everything and how surgery went. I never got to see him, because I assumed he just went right on back into surgery from there to the next person. But he did follow up with them, and according to him, surgery went very well. It was successful. The fibroid they were trying to remove, they got completely out. And he was very pleased. He told them he was pleased with his work. So to me, that's a good sign. Going back to me being in phase 2. So the nurse comes in and like reminds them, my family, of the next steps. Like, you know, make sure she gets plenty of rest. She can't be alone for 24 hours. We talked about, you know, pain management, making sure that I get medicine every 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours. The doctor prescribed me Motrin, prescription Motrin. He was also going to prescribe me Tylenol with codeine along with that, but I don't do well with Tylenol. So then he like had ripped up the, you know, the prescription for that, and he only left me with Motrin. That was not a good call. And my family and I knew that, because my hysteroscopy, which that recovery time is only a day or 2, I had oxydicone for that. So this recovery is a lot longer. Like, why would I not need something like stronger? But we didn't fight him on it because I still had oxy from my last procedure. My mother also had some because she recently had a procedure herself, so we didn't really trip about it. But if that happens to you, insist that you get something stronger, because that Motrin was not enough the first few days of recovery, but we just let it go. So anyway, they told us about the Motrin prescription and also a prescription for like nausea, which I only needed like the first day. And that was it. And then they like sent us on our way, and I was like really out of it still. They had to wheel me out of there. My dad practically had to like lift me into the car. I'm a lightweight. I don't really do well with anesthesia, so that's just me. Anyway, I decided to stay over at my parents' house for a couple of days while I recover. So we get, to my parents' house, and then I get my first meal. And I was hungry. My appetite did not go anywhere. And then once I ate, and I got into the bed, and by the way, I was having some pain, definitely. And I got into the bed, and I was out, I think, for the rest of the night. As far as the pain, for those of you who may be going through a similar procedure, how would I describe it? The worst of it was comparable to when I had my myomectomy. I mean, obviously I wasn't given a cut like for this procedure like I did for the myomectomy, but the pain in itself felt very, very familiar to me. So it hurt. I mean, it did hurt, but this is what I would say. When you have someone like me who has had really bad menstrual cramps, who has been dealing with fibroids for a long time, I know pain. So, I mean, when I was in recovery, the pain was at its worst. But from that moment on, it was uncomfortable. I mean, it didn't feel good. But if you're accustomed to really bad menstrual cramps like me, to the point where it's like hard to walk when you get them. I mean, when I would get menstrual cramps, I need to sit in a dark room and just like sit there and like be just in pain. It's not going to be worse than that. I mean, as far as the pain level, it's not comparable. It's a different type of pain, but to me, it doesn't exceed it. But it's a different type of pain. So, I mean, it's still significant because it's uncomfortable to walk. It's uncomfortable to sit. It's, you're really tired. So it's just different, but I don't want you to feel that it's like really severe. So it's bearable. I went back home Tuesday, Wednesday, I think Thursday morning, decided to go back home. And yeah, so I've been doing really well. It's now Sunday. I go back to work tomorrow, and I feel ready. I feel ready for it. Yesterday I was a little concerned because I was still having some pains, like on and off. But when I woke up today, I was like, not doing too bad. So I don't think I've even taken any medicine today, actually, now that I think about it. So I've had a little bit of minor pain, but nothing that bad. So I think I'll be ready for work tomorrow, and that's it. So I'm doing well, and I still have some other fibroids left in there that will be addressed later down the road. But right now, this was the one he feels is causing the irregular menstrual cycle. So that was the purpose of this procedure in particular. So that's been a big problem for me. It's resulted in anemia. So yeah, hopefully, this will help with my issues. And then when I'm ready to probably start having kids, then I'll look into the myomectomy again down the road, or if these current fibroids that I do have start getting like painful. So far, I feel them sometimes, like twinges, but nothing that's severe. Anyway, that's my video for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful to you in any way. Even if this is something you're not dealing with now, again, you never know if you will be in the future, because when I had my myomectomy 4 years ago today, I thought that would be it, and here we are. So but anyway, if you have any questions, you know what to do. Go ahead and put those down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching.